If I were to quote a very famous apartheid activist by the name of Dr. Agri Klaaster, he said that one thing that everybody forgets was that apartheid was devilishly successful. And what it really succeeded in doing in so many respects was divide and rule. It divided communities, it broke up families, and the grand design of apartheid, the whole social engineering process, created an absolute welter of problems that we're dealing with every day here in South Africa. We have huge satellite townships surrounding the city that have just no facilities or amenities for young people, and it's been concluded that the highest level of crime is perpetrated by young people between the ages of 17 and 25 because they come out of a pitifully inadequate school environment, and there's huge unemployment, and there's very little to give them something to really to aspire towards, or to ultimately areas where they can occupy themselves gainfully or productively.
We live in a country where HIV/AIDS has really affected a lot of families, and you get a lot of kids who are actually parentless.
Oh well, it brings out a generation of children that have got no self-esteem because they see what happens to their parents and they're not sure now. Do they take the role of the father? Do they take the role of the mother? Which role should they actually take?
There's so many children that go home to empty houses during the day, or to flats, or roam the streets because there is nothing else to do. So we need somewhere that they can get involved in a program.
But the truth of the matter, it's hardly 15 years the new government is in power. It will take a lot of years for us to recover. It's a fact. You know what I'm trying to say. So we are still being affected. Today you are in the country, you see a lot of strikes. You see a lot of strikes because people are hungry. People want food, And then if you're not in their position, you can't understand what makes a man to go into a shop and start looting food, hunger. So we need to come up with plans of ensuring that these youth, we take them, we bring them together and come up with plans of, trying to make them better persons.
In the meantime, these are people who've been looking after themselves for years and years and years.
Without a professional
without anything. And so you go in there and say, oh, we think that will work for you. And what we're basically saying is, oh, okay, what you've done up until now has been no good. Remember, you're working in communities who never ever owned anything. Or you're working with a community of people who were never ever asked, how do you feel? So it's very much about acknowledging the community assets that you are already finding there, and to building it from there.
What happens after school is a nightmare.
We don't have facilities for our children.
Children are always inside the house. They don't get out to play.
A great need.
There are too many problems overshadowing us.
Most of our children are suffering there,
Being attacked, being robbed, being raped.
We need counselors who can counsel them about teenage pregnancies and drugs abuse.
Painful things are happening. Painful things.
I'm scared to lose my virginity by being raped.
I want to feel safe,
It's something we have to do together.
Parents also need to be involved.
There is no parent who wants to have a child who is a gangster, a child who's killing other people.
This club, I think, would alleviate those fears.
Whenever you feel down, you can just go there.
A boys and girls club, it would be a benefit for a lot of kids.
A place where everyone can just be themselves.
You meet different people, you share ideas, you learn new things, you go through channels that you've never known existed, and by so doing you grow.
It will help them, achieve more in life.
It will help me with my leadership skills.
I like business, I want to be a businessman.
My dream for my children is for them to have a better future. For them to have a better future, better than mine.
You know, Tupperware is going to change our lives.
We're helping people to change their lives.
You'll see there'll be something big that's going to happen in Soweto.
The Boys and Girls Clubs of South Africa started as a vision of Rick Goings, the CEO of Tupperware, and Alan Dandau, the president of Tupperware Southern Africa. Tupperware has a significant sales force in Soweto, and we relied on them early on to help us assess the needs and develop the organization. We felt that the Pimville Club would be a more accurate representation of what other clubs might look like in South Africa.
The match between Boys and Girls Club and Pimville Club, I would say it's an achievement, and it's going to reap good results, especially for the youth.
The Boys and Girls Club is a facility-based after-school program where kids go after school, where they're supervised by adults that act as mentors and caring figures in their life. We started from the ground up to achieve a model that could be replicated in other locations in South Africa.
We have a program called Power Hour where we help the young ones with their homework every day.
Parents are that thing now they are starting to understand the purpose of the club. Even when the kids if there is an improvement at school, they could identify and they will come and comment and talk.